Alright, so now we're going to take the Corvette C6R out for a little run on Road America. And you can see I have the pedals superimposed on the upper right-hand corner of the video. And I don't talk very well on driving, so I decided just to go ahead and do voiceover on this and dub it in when I do the video. So, we're going to do some heel and toe shifting here. And this is a great set of pedals for that. It just comes natural. And you also see me using the clutch for shifting the C6R, and I'm sure a lot of you out there are going, hey, you don't need to do that. And you're right, you don't. I just go through the motions just to stay in practice. A lot of cars, if you actually took them on SCCA racing these days that I can afford to race, would need a clutch. As I went too wide on the turn and didn't get second gear before the turn is why I went too wide on that one. There's a tough hill here. You come over that crest and it's really hard to get the power back down on that Corvette. It has so much torque. And you can see I'm using my left foot on the brake every so often, and I'm using that to help turn the Corvette while I'm in a turn. It helps if I'm pushing or I'm too tight in the turn, a little tap on the brake there while I'm still using the throttle helps bring that nose around, helps the C6R turn in. Now, back to the brakes. You can see that slave cylinder pulling on those urethane bumpers, and of course the red ones barely move. They're very, very hard. But the black ones you can see compress a considerable amount when I get on the brakes hard. Here in turn 12 you'll see that as I go from 6th gear down to 2nd. You see them really get squished up pretty good there. And as noted in the brake adjustment section of the video you've already seen, if you saw part 2, there should be a washer in between those black bumpers. And I don't have one in there. Forgot to put it in. But make sure you put the washer in between it. It helps the wear and tear on the bumpers. Now, not so much on the red ones, of course, because they're just hard, really, really hard to begin with. They don't move much. All right. I must say, this is like I said before during the videos, this is just a pleasure to use this pedal. It just feels so natural. And we'll go ahead and go down to one more turn to turn 5. Downshift, get through that, and then we'll probably end it there. Just want to give you guys a general idea of how everything works. You can see the linkages and everything working as we're using the brake pedals. Now, again, I really like the feel of this brake pedal. It's just real, it just feels like a real car, I guess is the best way to put it. Is it making my threshold braking or my trail braking any more accurate, or am I faster with it? No. The ARC pedals that I have, I'm just as fast with that, but the brake pedal does not feel like the Emery pedal feels. It's just hard to describe until you use it. Not that I don't like the ARC brake pedal, I do. But this thing just feels so good. All right, so we'll go down to turn 12 and go ahead and end it there. A lot of fun using this set. I really enjoy using it, and I've had it for a long time. All right, we'll go ahead and end it right here on turn 12 as we're downshifting again. And by the way, I recommend you guys give some heel and toe shifting a try. It's a lot of fun. It might be a little difficult to learn at first, but once you have it down in a rhythm, it's all about rhythm, really. It's a blast to do. But in a race, I wouldn't be using it. I'd be using left foot braking and, of course, just blipping the throttle for downshifts. All right. So there you have it, good run with the Tiltons, and now we'll get to final thoughts. Okay, final thoughts. Emery Emond was a pioneer in bringing hydraulic pedals to sim racing. As far back as 2011, he was experimenting with hydraulic master cylinders, slave cylinders, pressure sensors, with a little help from his friends, and how best to implement them in an existing pedal set like these. Later in the same year, he sold his first production version of the pedals and has been working to improve them ever since. Now, I have the Generation 3 pedals, which is his top-of-the-line pedal set. They came with the heel plate option, adjustable heel plate option, and the full set of the Tilton 600 series real racing pedals. Let's go ahead and get the cons out of the way. $1,400 or just under $1,400 for this pedal set shipped. It's not a cheap set of pedals. These are at the high end of the custom pedal spectrum. But when you get to this level of pedal function, feel, and quality, most of what you're going to see out there is going to be well north of the $1,000 mark. So it's really kind of relative when you think of it that way. Another con for some might be that the 3 pedals are mounted as one unit. You can't individually spread them out. For others, it really doesn't matter. But as you can see, it certainly doesn't affect their drivability or usability. I mean, they're just a dream to use, and you saw in the video that I really like doing the heel and toe with these pedals. Some may consider the more involved process at time it takes to adjust these pedals and the durometers in the back and things like that, compared to some of the other high-end pedal sets out there, a con. But I think once you get used to taking these nuts off and putting durometers in or taking them off, you're going to cut down the time considerably on what it takes to get it done. And just like most things, I mean, the more you do it, the faster you get at doing it. Also, this is a hydraulic pedal set, in case you didn't notice. And that might raise some concerns about leaks or getting air into the system, which means you got to bleed to get it out. But there's other hydraulic systems out there, so they have the same issues if you get air into them. You need a relatively flat surface to mount them to, unless you have a remote reservoir option, which actually Emery offers, so you can actually invert them if you wanted to with the remote option. So that's something to think about if you don't have a flat surface. Pros, probably the biggest pro for me is the feel and function of this set. There's just something about the feeling of this brake pedal, man. It's really hard for me to explain it. It's one of those things you have to feel for yourself to be able to understand. To me, it's the best feeling brake pedal I've used to date, and I mean feeling. It's just a pleasure to run it. Whether it's threshold braking, trail braking, is a very consistent, comfortable feel to it. Now I want to follow that up with a statement that there's the other high-end pedal sets out there are just as consistent, just as accurate, and have just as repeatable braking as this brake. There's just something about the feeling. It's what's the word I'm looking for here? I guess it's more of a comfortable or natural feeling than the others I've tried to date. Another pro is the real set of racing pedals, which is just cool. They look good sitting in my rig. I really like that. And their durability. I mean, it shouldn't even be an issue. This is a real set of racing pedals, so that's not an issue. And the way that Emery actually assembled these pedals and the hardware used in here, I don't think you have to worry about durability on them. Also, the fact that he uses top of the line. I mean, we're using Willwood reservoirs, slave cylinders, and master cylinders, just enforces the same thing in this very durable set of pedals. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this pedal set to someone in the market for a set of high-end pedals. Well, I guess that's going to wrap up this review. Once again, I'm Barry Rowland, and thanks again for watching the Sim Racing Garage channel.